On to world news, just to sort of finish up today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed sort of the stuff and can relate and comment below. That's the most important thing, that you comment below and tell me what you think. So it's kind of fun to see people sort of join in on the Christmas cheer. I know it's the day after Christmas, but you can talk about what you do in Christmas, and if you even celebrate Christmas, and just your opinions, my videos, and what I should do next. So next, let's go into the world news. Probably my favorite segments of the show. Crowd Pack interview screenings. Critics and early viewers are agreed that the interview is less than a masterpiece, but thanks to threats from hackers that nearly derailed its release, it has become an event. Hundreds of US cinemas, from the Edge 8 in Greenville, Alabama, to Michael Moore's Bijou by the Bay in Traverse City, Michigan, made special Christmas Day arrangements for the Seth Rogen James Franco comedy depicting the assassination of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Sony Pictures initially called off the release after major cinema chains dropped the movie that was have opening as many as 3,000 screens. But with US President Barack Obama, among others, criticizing the decision, Sony bosses changed their minds. The interview made available on a variety of different platforms on Wednesday night, including Google Play, YouTube Movies, Microsoft's Xbox Video, and a separate Sony website. Meanwhile, Sony and the independent cinemas agreed to release it in more than 300 venues on Christmas Day. "We are taking a stand for freedom," said Lee Peterson, manager of the Cinema Village East in Manhattan, where most of yesterday's screenings have sold out in early afternoon. "We want to show the world that Americans will not be told what we can or cannot do or watch. Personally, I'm not afraid." Pretty crazy there. A lot of people commenting on this, and it's become a big news story for the end of the year. Next is nuclear workers die in gas alert. 3 South Korean workers have died after apparently inhaling toxic gas at a construction site for new nuclear plant. Choi Hee-ha of Korea Hydro and Nuclear Power Co. said the victims were working for the construction site in the southeastern city of Ulsan, where they fell unconscious and were taken to a hospital. Chow said the company has not yet to determine the cause of the accident, although the leaking of nitrogen was suspected. Construction of the plant is scheduled to be completed next year. The accident came as the company is on high alert over a series of threats by hackers who claim they can disable the control systems of the plants. 2 on trial for murder of 2 British tourists. The trial of 2 men charged with the murder of 2 British tourists in Thailand has been begun. It's been reported, with Zhao Hutan and Zhao Lin, both 21, deny killing 24-year-old David Miller from Jersey, 23-year-old Hannah Witheridge from Great Yarmouth, Norfolk. The Britain's bodies were found on December 15 on Koh Tai Beach. The trial of the 2 migrant workers from Burma has been scheduled to begin in February, and it has been brought forward unexpectedly, the BBC reports. As at an earlier hearing this month, Nakron Champu Chart, the lawyer from the accused pair, said they had pleaded not guilty to several charges relating to the deaths. See how that develops. Europe needs outbreak hit squad. The UK and the rest of Europe must form a group of specialists ready to tackle outbreaks like Ebola. The man who discovered the disease almost 40 years ago has said. Professor Peter Pite, who is currently director of the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine and professor of global health, warned that exposure to future threats from viruses would remain unless action was taken. He told The Independent it's time that UK and Europe had a well-trained corps of people who are globally experienced and deployable specialists in outbreak control, but underpinned by strong research and science. We don't have that yet, and this makes us vulnerable. So yeah, there. And now one of the big stories I saw a documentary on is Asia Remembers Tsunami disaster 10 years on. Beachside memorials and religious services have been held across Asia to mark the 10th anniversary of the Indian Ocean tsunami that has left more than 250,000 people dead in one of modern history's worst natural disasters. The devastating December 26th, which is exactly 10 years ago, 2004, tsunami struck a dozen countries around the Indian Ocean rim, eradicated entire coastal communities, decimated families, and crashed over tourist-filled beaches, with survivors wading through a horror show of corpse-filled waters. There's a documentary on this, I think there's a movie about it, with Ewan McGregor, which I haven't seen. I saw a trailer for it though. Survivors, politicians, diplomats and families of victims gathered in Indonesia, Thailand, Sri Lanka, India and elsewhere. Moments of silence are planned in several spots to mark the exact time the tsunami struck. The disaster was triggered by a 9.1 magnitude earthquake, the region's most powerful in 40 years. It tore open the seabed bed of Indonesia's Sumatran coast, displacing billions of tons of water and sending wave roars across the Indian Ocean at jetliner speeds as far away as East Africa. Indonesia's Aceh province was hit first and hardest. The sea rose as high as 1330 feet and surged inland for miles with seemingly unstoppable force, carrying along trees, houses, train cars, and thousands of people in a churning rush. Indonesia's Vice President Yusuf Kala attended a ceremony in Banda Aceh, the capital of Aceh province, in which sachets were distributed to the ambassadors of countries that assisted in the massive recovery of over 10 years ago. More than 160,000 people died in Indonesia, more than half the total 230,000 people killed across the region. In Thailand, more than 5,000 people were killed, but half of whom were tourists celebrating the day after Christmas on the country's renowned white sand beaches. In Sri Lanka, the water swept a passenger train from its tracks, killing nearly 2,000 people in its single blow. Oh my god. A symbolic recreation of the train journey was planned. I cannot forget the smell of the air, the water at the time, even after 10 years, said Tuku Ahmed Salman, 51, who joined thousands in a prayer service in Banda Aceh. I cannot forget how I lost hold of my wife, my kids, my house, he said, sobbing, recounting that he refused to believe for years that they had died, but finally gave up looking for them. More than 100 survivors of the tsunami, along with brave relatives from Germany, Austria and Switzerland, have a memorial service on a beach in Khao Lak, Thailand. They walked into the waves and flayed flowers in the warm Andaman Sea, while diplomats placed wreaths on the sand. I didn't expect it would touch me so much more after 10 years, again because I come back every now and then in recent years, said German tsunami survivor Claudia Geist, who was so badly injured during the tsunami she almost lost a leg. But this has been a completely different experience now, connecting with all the other people. So, it's crazy. There's a video on it here, and I'm sure there's lots of videos on YouTube you can go check out on the tsunami. I saw a documentary, of course, and crazy to see all these tourists getting killed, and just everyone, big, massive side effects of this earthquake. So yeah, that's my world news for the day. I think I can get round to one more story, maybe. One more story. Yeah, so thanks guys for watching this Christmas edition of my show. Yeah. Also, British Queen, I can talk about here. British Queen delivers a message of reconciliation. The Queen has used her Christmas Day broadcast to highlight the importance of reconciliation between opposing sides, from communities in the north to those involved in the Scottish independence referendum. In her annual address to the nation, the head of state also talked about the poignant moment when First World War forces put aside their differences and met in no man's land during the Christmas truce in 1914, which is exactly 100 years ago. She talked about a lot of stuff in there, and that's a pretty iconic moment in the year. So there you go for this one. Lots of good news story coming out. You can check them out on World News, which I'll leave a link below. Lots of links and lots of videos coming soon. Make sure to like, comment below, share this video, favourite, and subscribe below, or click on the links and check out all the news stories and prepare for the next couple of videos that comes out. Thank you for watching this one. This has been the Hub Podcast on TV Push 1, Episode 4, Christmas Special. See you guys next time.